We're watching as cryptocurrency keeps rising, and I do believe that this is the beginning of a much bigger rise rather than something that will only last for the next day or two. I do believe that this has now reinforced that we will be watching a lot larger advance across the board, which I will describe in this video. However, I do think that there will be some good pullbacks here and there to allow us some more opportunity to acquire 100%. Now, for all of you XRP holders out there, you may be wondering when XRP will rise even farther over its current level. The precise moment that XRP will reach new all-time highs will be demonstrated to you in this video. However, we will also discuss a noteworthy price prediction for XRP of more than $30 to even $50, which I will again share my ideas on. So take a seat back and unwind. Everyone, welcome to channel. I hope that by the end of this video, those of you who are new to the channel would subscribe. So let's get started and actually discuss a few topics. First of all, it is really exciting to see that we are approaching the $3 trillion market cap level once more. Greed and fear. Back to neutral on the lower time fear and greed index, we're actually at greedy levels, which is kind of concerning because it's kind of warning us that we might see a short-term pullback here soon. As for Bitcoin, I'm recording this a little earlier, but right now it's at about 94,000 XRP at $2.26. However, check out Ethereum, which has been going unnoticed but is $1,800. It's doing better than Bitcoin. It's even doing better than XRP. This is true for both the 7-day and 24-hour periods. It's encouraging to note that Ethereum is already catching up to some of the major participants and surpassing the old coin market when we look at the 24-hour period. In fact, we want it to occur in order to validate the second half of the season. Have we arrived yet? No, not just yet, not until we hear those talks about Ethereum turning the tide on Bitcoin and everyone becoming fervently optimistic about it once more. However, I do believe that we are approaching that stage. And now on top of that, since I recently came upon a significant price prediction, which we will revisit at the end of this video, let's speak about some pricing predictions. Because I want to give a summary of what I think about this. Crazy price forecasts for a variety of items have been making the rounds. First, be aware of Bitcoin. A range of 150,000 to 250,000 has been heard. It goes from 300,000 to 400,000 in a flash. This occurs during each and every cycle. And I want everyone to understand this. Alright? I could go on this YouTube channel every day and tell you all that XRP will reach $100 within the next 10, 20, or even 10,000 days at that point. But that's not what I'm doing. Additionally, I don't believe in that, which is why I'm not doing it. I will not share with you guys anything that I do not truly believe in or witness occurring. There are many YouTube creators out there, and I won't name them out of respect, but many of them produce clickbait content just to get views, as well as only for the money they make from those videos. Although it's not completely outlandish, this is one of those price forecasts that I don't think will occur this cycle. Charts such as this have been circling this area for years. The major price projection for XRP in 2020, 2020, 2021 was $20.30. It was going to do this, it was going to do that, and it was going to follow the same pattern as 2017 and 2018. And you know what? Nothing took place. You may now argue that the SEC case is to blame. Yes, of course. You could say that. Furthermore, given how early we were still in terms of acceptance, it simply didn't make sense for XRP to reach those values. However, Sistine Research is here, and our XRP target is between $33 and $50. We're following a pretty similar trend to 2017, but considerably larger, so it feels a little conservative. Targets may reach $77 to $100 if you're prepared to measure as a cup and handle. Now, let's face it, their other price projections are just plain absurd. You refer to the fact that some of these market caps are absolutely absurd, correct? I think that $370,000 for Bitcoin is absolutely crazy for this cycle. Litecoin at $500, HBR at $4, and XLM at $7. For example, I think most of these price forecasts are unrealistic, but some aren't that outrageous. And this is our graphic showing XRP's rise from $33 to $50. This TA has absolutely no fundamental support. For example, if we're considering real estate and someone is genuinely requesting a realistic cryptocurrency worth between $20 and $30 XRP, he used the Elliott wave theory to support it. This cycle, might it reach $20 and $30? It might. However, it does worry me a little when we start seeing charts like these. We seem to be approaching the top of the cycle more and more. Do I believe we've arrived yet? No, I believe we still have a little while left. In yesterday's video, I discussed 3 to 6 months with you all. Although I will return to this chart towards the end of this video, I still believe that we have that time. But first I want to discuss a few topics. First, in my piece from yesterday, I mentioned starting the transition from gold to cryptocurrency. Although we will initially see as markets bounce more forcefully, I also believe that we witness a rotation from stocks. Income Sharks published this article yesterday, in which Goldman Sachs predicted that gold would reach $3,700 by the end of the year, and could even reach $3,950. And gold was at its height at this time. Now, at this moment on the 12-hour chart, this is how gold appears. This is also the 1 day. I do believe that gold is at its peak right now. As I mentioned yesterday, I believe that we can do this on the weekly basis when it comes to gold, the commodity we trade in. Our current trading situation is extremely similar to that of August, for instance, when we reached a peak and are now beginning to chop and sell off. I don't believe that gold would do something like this, where we simply sell off in large quantities or something. In my opinion, gold will likely continue to decline for several months while cryptocurrency begins to make a significant comeback. Additionally, this candlewick on the weekly is also quite pessimistic, which will also indicate a more significant decline in the price of gold. Finding some support here is the primary thing I'm kind of looking for on gold. Therefore, I would feel confident starting to chop a little bit at roughly $3,022. We may even have a deep wick beneath it, after which we chop sideways in anticipation of a much larger chart expansion, which might take months. And that's precisely what we hope to see, which is quite similar to what I described yesterday, starting in August 2020 and continuing through 2021 and 2022. However, this is a Bloomberg TV film from yesterday discussing how Bitcoin is decoupling from tech stocks and becoming more like gold in terms of trade. This will reverberate around the world. Take a look. Trading more like gold and breaking away from tech stocks at a good moment, just before gold was about to soar in value. As you can see, actual Bitcoin gold has increased by almost 9% in April alone, which has caused Bitcoin to rise, particularly in the last few days. Take a look at what has occurred to tech companies in blue, and the cryptocurrency market is up roughly 6%, actually caused the Nasdaq 100 to drop by almost 6.5%. Tim, it's possible that Bitcoin is starting to resemble a safe haven, at least in respect to gold. Katie dubbed it physical Bitcoin. Let's talk about the decoupling between tech stocks and Bitcoin. Team at Bloomberg Crypto, I take it that they are referring to it as the decoupling. And you know, many people believe that this would never occur again because it began to occur in 2020. Again though, risk on assets was already very positive at the time. This time around, my primary concern is that Bitcoin will just beat stocks and gold in terms of performance. That will place Bitcoin in the public eye, and everyone will likely ask, why are you talking about Bitcoin, Nick? At this point, I assumed that we were discussing XRP here. Indeed we are. However, Bitcoin first experiences a massive surge. In order to break over the prior highs from early March, we must first clear this level, which is approximately 93.2 to 95.6K. I would really want to see us beyond this 95K level. That would validate a far more extensive Bitcoin expansion. We're kind of there already in my opinion. On this chart we recently cleared a lot of price movement, but this would push us to a new higher high. We only